Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Trades Talk with me, your host, Pop. And on this stream, we take a look at the world through the industrial point of view. We'll talk about the skilled trades, what it takes to get into them, and answer any questions that you may have about them. We'll also look into some articles about the shortage of the skilled trades out there. We'll look at some news around the industrial area, and then we'll check out our accident investigation, followed up by everyone's favorite time, picture time. But before we get into all that, I just want to say hello to you, Fabric Folds. Nice to see you. You've got quite the interesting story to start off with. You barely got home ahead of a massive snowstorm. Jack Frost can suck it. Yeah, well, I'm glad you beat it home. And you weren't even supposed to get snow today. Well, that just goes to show that the weatherman can be wrong and still keep his job. So there's always doubt whenever you hear the weather report, especially for, a week away or 2 weeks away, what they're predicting. It's always suspect. Okay. So good to see you here, Fabric. I'm glad you made it before the snow hit. Us, on the other hand, there was no snow today, but it was still below freezing. So the sun was out, but it was still cold enough that the ice was not melting. So snow and ice not melting. That's where we're at right now. This is the kind of weather we're into now for the next couple of weeks. Is going to be just we'll get sunshine, but it will not be enough to melt the snow or ice quickly at all. Anyways, let's get into the news here. Let's have a look. I've been poking around and checking out to see what we can talk about on the news of the week here. What we got here is something Ontario and Ottawa announced a $228 million workforce program tied to tariff impacts. Sounds like more government handouts to me, but let's see what they have to say. The Ontario government says it will expand training and employment supports for workers affected by tariffs and global trade disruptions, backed by a $228 million in federal funding over 3 years. According to a joint announcement from the Ontario government and the federal government, the funding will support the Canada-Ontario Workforce Tariff Response, a program expected to help up to 27,000 workers retrain or upgrade skills in sectors impacted by trade pressures. Ontario's workforce is among the most talented and highly sought after in the world, with deep capabilities across the steel, manufacturing, lumber, and automotive industries, said Vic Fideli, Ontario Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade. As global supply chains undergo unprecedented realignment, the Canada-Ontario Workforce Tariff Response will equip workers with the skills and resources necessary to build a more competitive, resilient, and prosperous economy. Sounds like government handouts to me. The sun is just like a Kardashian. It looks good, but otherwise useless until May. That's right. It provides light, but that's about it. Let's have my drink of choice. Some nice raspberry lemon tea. Very nice on a cold day like today. Let's keep going here. The province said the program will be delivered primarily through Skills Advance Ontario, which supports worker training, job transitions, and employee retention during periods of economic disruption. The government said SAO will also support workforce development in sectors identified as high growth, including skilled trades, energy, natural resources, and healthcare. Eligible participants include laid off and unemployed workers seeking new skills, employees covered by employment insurance, work sharing agreements, and workers requiring additional training to remain employed in companies or communities affected by tariffs, according to the announcement. How do you retrain for tariffs? Learn to plumb? Yeah. It's just handouts. That's all it is. It's just a fancy word for saying they're going to use tax money to pay people. Employers and training providers will be able to apply for funding through Skill Advance Ontario with applications accepted on an ongoing basis. Workers and job seekers are encouraged to connect with participating employers, service providers, or Employment Ontario for access to training opportunities. The government said its initiative is intended to help workers adapt to trade-related disruptions while supporting workforce stability in key industries. Is it a election year in Ontario? I mean, I know that Mark Carney bought three more MPs, members of Parliament, over to his side. So he coerced a bunch of Conservative employees to cross the floor, and now he's got a majority government. So he pretty much bought those people to so he could have a majority. So there you go. Well, proof again that politicians have no integrity, and they go to the highest bidder. That's all there is to it. They don't care about the people they represent. They're going to just go where the money is. What's next? Canadian companies should take action ahead of the CUSMA review. Oh, this ought to be good. What action? What action do you think they should do here? A new report from Boston Consulting Group outlines ways Canadian companies can prepare for the upcoming review of the Canada-US-Mexico Agreement on Trade. The report says that despite moves by the U.S. to impose higher duties on some Canadian and Mexican products, North American trade has remained relatively strong, with about 60% of goods imported from those countries into the U.S. remaining duty-free. The formal review of the trade agreement, known as CUSMA, is set to begin in July. The talks could change the rules around trade for a range of industries, including automobiles and digital services. The report outlines three potential outcomes for the negotiations, which include an extension of the CUSMA, which targeted changes to side agreements, a new three-way deal, and the termination of CUSMA in favor of bilateral agreements. Huh. Hey, what's up, DJ Ronnie G? Traffic, maybe because of the recent events? You just got off the bus. Hey, public transit here. I'm taking the bus. Good for you, DJ. They switch parties here too. Personally, if you switch parties, you have to resign and rerun. Ah. Yeah, Fabric. You're now hoofing it like a horse. Well, you can run on two legs. Unless it's like from Uma Musume, the pony girls there. All right. Companies can prepare for the outcome of the negotiations, the report says, by taking actions like establishing a tariff command center to monitor the situation. Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious. We have to have a tariff command center to monitor the situation, along with working through potential scenarios that could impact their business. Other preparation might include redesigning procurement and manufacturing networks to preserve flexibility and engaging with stakeholders. Yeah, I like that one. Establish a tariff command center. Yeah, that's not going to happen. This guy's living in La La Land. DJ is a pony boy confirmed. Apparently the running animation is way better than Blue Lock. All right. Well, that was a useless item here, news article telling people what they should do before the review. I mean, yeah, not even an intelligent word there. Bus said it was fine, but the hyperdrive motivator was shot. Traffic was slower, and you got to check if there's a construction or threat alert. Una DJ asked me. Yeah, there you go. Almost. Uma Musume. Uma DJ. Okay, what's this? The federal government commits $94 million to improve labor market data in key sectors. Oh, this ought to be good. Yeah, there you go. Horse DJ. Yeah, yeah. Sounds like Kazakhstan is preparing for trade wars. That syrup's never coming out. Yeah, yeah, Fabric. Our political leaders here are so dumb to pick a fight with the U.S. Like, how stupid can they be? But it's on purpose. There's no doubt it's on purpose. And same with making deals with China. It's not because they're stupid. It's because they're doing it on purpose. And I don't know what the end game is yet. I can only guess, but it doesn't seem like there's an end game as to why are they doing this? Why are you picking a fight with the U.S.? Stop it. That's stupid. Don't do that. All right, let's get to this one, though. On March 9th, the federal government announced it will invest up to $94.5 million over 5 years to strengthen labor market intelligence across industries that collectively represent nearly 2/3 of Canada's GDP. Okay, you're spending money to strengthen labor market intelligence. Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't know about that. The funding, delivered through the Sectoral Workers Solutions Program, or SWISP, will support 14 organizations in developing forecasts, dashboards, and employer toolkits, covering job vacancies and growth opportunities by sector. The initiative targets industries including advanced manufacturing, construction, aerospace, trucking, mining, and energy. Sectors employing roughly 9.9 million Canadians, or 47% of the national labor force. Federal Jobs Minister Patty Hajdu announced the investment at the New Build and Oakwood headquarters in Ottawa. The program is designed to help close the gap between labor supply and demand, giving employers, workers, and training providers clearer data on where skills shortages exist and where opportunities are emerging. Trade wars. Trade wars, Gator. Okay, well, you want to pay me, you don't even have to pay me $94.5 million. Just pay me, I don't know, $5 million and I can help you out right away. All the companies that need people, post your openings. All the companies that are full up, post your numbers. All the companies that need more people, yeah, that seems pretty much supply and demand. So we need more people. Tell us about it, who you are, and post your jobs. Yeah, it's just where the skill shortage exists. Like, this is another waste of money. It's going to support 14 organizations. Which 14 organizations? Will it tell us that? Which 14 organizations? Well, here you go. This is at the Government of Canada website. Organization: BioTalent Canada, BuildForce Canada, Canada Green Building Council. Oh, man. Canadian Agricultural Council, Canadian Council for Aviation and Aerospace, Electricity Human Resources. Seriously, that's what that says. Electricity Human Resources Canada. Energy Safety Canada, Environmental Careers Organization, Excellence in Manufacturing Consortium, the Forest Products Association, Information and Communication Tech. Yeah, this is Tourism HR Canada, Trucking Human Resources. These guys don't need the money. This is just another waste of money. Ottawa has said improved labor market information is particularly critical as Canadian industries navigate U.S. tariff pressures and supply chain realignment. The announcement follows a series of federal measures aimed at protecting workers in tariff-afflicted sectors, including a reskilling package targeting up to 50,000 workers and a new workforce alliances and sectoral workforce innovation fund. Don't go cheap. Tell them you don't get out of bed for less than $40 million. You have to get your tax money back. Yeah, you're right, Fabric. I went a little on the cheap side there. But I don't think paying all that money to 14 different agencies is going to help the supply and demand of workers. You can do all of that already without paying them extra money. So these are just payouts to companies. Forest Products Association, isn't that big TP? Well, it's got to come from somewhere. The paper's got to come from somewhere. Got to come from the forest. Well, that's it for Plant Magazine and their news. Not a very well-written articles to read. They really don't give you very much information at all. Let's head over to some of these other ones I looked at here. This is from the insurance business. Labor gap, climate risk create double squeeze on Canadian insurance. New report warns that the risk is not as distant as the industry thinks. The Insurance Bureau of Canada, or IBC, has renewed its warning that the labor gap is undermining P&C insurers' ability to help policyholders restore homes and businesses quickly after natural catastrophes. Canada's skilled trade shortage is creating major challenges across industries, including the property and casualty insurance sector, as demand remains high for a shrinking pool of workers. According to BuildForce Canada, more people are expected to retire from the construction industry than enter it over the next 15 years, increasing pressure on the already stretched capacity. For insurers, that is not a distant risk, but a live operational constraint. After recent wildfire and flood seasons, carriers and independent adjusters have already reported difficulties sourcing contractors and remediation firms in some regions, contributing to longer claim life cycles and elevated loss adjustment expenses. According to IBC, addressing the shortage will require governments to refocus on skilled trades development and immigration, both of which they largely control through funding and policy decisions. The federal government recently expanded its express entry immigration stream to fast-track applicants for workers in sectors with critical gaps, including research, transportation, the military, healthcare, and social services. This is alarming, everybody. You're going to fast-track immigrants to be in the military? They are going to have no tie to this country at all. They're not good. They have no reason to have any loyalty to this country at all. If you're going to fast track those guys to be in the military, they're going to either desert or they'll just turn their guns on your own guys. So that's a dumb idea. Ottawa has also said it hopes to attract more skilled trades workers such as carpenters, plumbers, and machinists through the program. You just got to vet them. I've worked with guys from other countries and they lie about their credentials. They fake them. You just got to give them a simple test. This one guy was a welder, or he said he was. He welded some stuff up and it all fell apart. So that just tells me that he lied about being a welder. While these are positive steps, industry observers have argued they are unlikely to be sufficient on their own, given the size of the projected shortfall and the added pressure from climate-driven weather events. For insurers, that raises the prospect of chronic catastrophe backlog, where even routine weather events strain local rebuilding capacity and large-scale disasters create multi-year construction pipelines. Yeah, but don't they like that? Don't companies like to have things be spread out multi-years? That way they can keep working and getting the money for it? I'm pretty sure that they like that. There's always room for dessert. Or desert. Remember, DJ, dessert spelled with 2 S's. Some carriers have already responded by building preferred contractor networks across wider geographic areas, pre-agreeing surge capacity, and using digital tools to triage and scope losses more quickly. However, those measures only partially offset the underlying shortage of licensed trades. That's how Hengist and Horsa took over England. They came as mercenaries. Okay. Still true. Yeah. Well, that's okay, DJ. A new report from the Conference Board of Canada. Building under pressure, skilled trade shortages and rising construction costs highlighted how shortages in the residential construction sector are feeding directly into higher housing and insurance claim costs. Unless governments act, the report warned that labor shortages will worsen, drive up inflation, and cost Canadians close to an extra $8 billion annually by 2045. Job vacancies among skilled trades in the residential construction sector have grown at an average rate of 11% per year and are projected to increase to 13% per year between 2026 and 2045. By 2045, the shortage of skilled trades workers is expected to reach up to 32,000. Whether it's welders or Indians, always check the beadwork first. I see what you did there, Fabric. Oh, you. But a bunch. According to analysts, that shortfall would likely push prices in the sector up by about 2.3% and add roughly $7.9 billion to the annual cost of residential renovations and repairs. The report also noted that the rising frequency and severity of natural catastrophes, along with the growing housing demand, are adding further strain to an already limited labor pool. Hear me out for this, guys. It's not the fact that there's a rising frequency and severity of natural catastrophes. It's just that you're exposed to a lot more of it. Whereas back in the day, you might see something on the news. You might read about it in a newspaper. But a lot of the stuff that happened, you wouldn't hear about unless you were really looking for it. So other countries, problems, their natural disasters, whatever happened, you would never hear about them. But now, because of connectivity and the internet and all this stuff, you can see every single thing happening in every single part of the world. So you're going to get inundated with it. And then they're going to tell you, well, you know what? There's really a lot more of them happening now. And you should always say back to them, no, I'm just hearing about everything that goes on. So that's the way I look at it. Call me crazy, but that's the way I see things. Those forecasts translate directly into higher expected severity on home and small commercial claims, especially in catastrophe-exposed regions. They also suggest that traditional assumptions about post-event normalization of repair costs may need to be revisited if capacity remains structurally tight. Skilled labor shortages feed directly into insurance claim costs too. Higher construction labor costs and longer rebuild and renovation timelines increase the size and duration of claims, particularly after severe weather events. These pressures are factored into insurers' pricing models and ultimately influence premiums and affordability. Persistent labor shortages can also mean longer periods of additional living expenses for displaced homeowners, extended business interruption for commercial clients, and higher loss adjustment expenses. In some recent Canadian catastrophes, business interruption periods have been driven less by policy time limits and more by how quickly contractors, material, and inspectors can be mobilized. Reinsurers are watching the same trends. If post-event loss development consistently runs higher than modeled due to constrained trades capacity, it could influence future catastrophe reinsurance pricing and attachment points for Canadian cedents. My day, you only got news over the wireless from 6:30 to 7. There you go, Fabric. You didn't hear about all things going on all over every part of the world all the time. I just think it's exposure. While IBC supports government efforts to build the new housing Canadians need, the organization has cautioned that the lack of a clear path to protect communities from wildfires, floods, and other natural disasters will further exacerbate skilled labor shortages. Just a second, guys. Okay. Industry stakeholders argue that investments in training and immigration must be paired with policies that reduce the physical risk of severe weather in the most exposed communities, support the long-term sustainability of the home insurance market, and lessen the financial and emotional toll of natural disasters on households and businesses. Well, don't forget, everybody, the insurance companies make so much money. They make in the billions, and obviously they don't want to pay out if they don't have to. So, yeah, I wouldn't feel too sorry for the insurance companies. For insurers, that alignment could mean fewer large-scale destruction events competing for the same limited pool of builders and restoration firms, and a more predictable environment for pricing property risk. Without it, the sector faces the prospect of paying more for every claim while also contending with the political pressure over affordability and availability of cover in high-risk areas. Steps to increase the skilled labor force of the future, such as the recent express entry expansion, are broadly welcomed by insurers, but IEBC and others stress that they need to be complemented by measures that make Canada a leader in preparing for, responding to, and recovering from natural catastrophes. Or claims costs and consumer bills are likely to continue rising in years without record-breaking disasters. So yeah, there's stuff that happens every year, and I don't know why people are so surprised of it. In Manitoba, the Red River almost always floods. You almost always get flooding in Manitoba. It's like, well, what do you think? Did you think something should be done about it? Or are you just going to be like, oh, well, it's done, it's over. We don't have to worry about it again until next year. When the people forget about it, and then it does it again. So it's just dumb things like that people got to smarten up about. Anyways, that's that one. This one here. The Chatham Voice. Chatham's in Ontario, by the way. Skilled trades on display and in demand. What's with all the immigrant training? Doesn't Canada have high school graduates? I know. That's what I want them to do. Spread the word to the high school students that they don't have to go into debt and they can come out and get trained. Importing all the people, well, the government likes to do that because the people that they import will vote for them. So if the Liberals import, 100 million people, they tell them, don't forget who let you into the country. Come election time, don't forget. And they don't. And they vote for them. And that's it. Let's see here. A recent skilled trades boot camp at Postma Heating and Cooling drew plenty of interest. A total of 43 people attended the day-long event at the Chatham Business to get a taste of what it's like working in the trades. There were 23 people enrolled in the plumbing stream, while 20 learned some of the basics about being a millwright. Hey, all right, my trade. According to Postma marketing coordinator Carissa Gonzalez, the event was intended to showcase what modern skilled trades careers look like, specifically in relation to plumbing and millwright work. The boot camp featured hands-on demonstrations, real tools, and realistic environments. It's designed to highlight local career opportunities, long-term stability, and the role trades play in supporting our community and economy. Boot camps like the one at Postma are part of the provincial push to raise awareness about current and future opportunities in the skilled trades. Officials said Ontario is facing a critical worsening skilled trade shortage with an expected need to recruit 100,000 to 190,000 new workers by 2030 to 34 to replace retiring workers and to meet infrastructure demands. Investment in manufacturing by Synteris has caught the eye of the provincial government. Through the Regional Development Program's Southwestern Ontario Development Fund, the Ford government is providing Synteris with $121,000 in funding. The investment was announced recently by Trevor Jones, MPP for Chatham-Kent-Leamington. It's like summer wildfires in northern Wyoming, summer and fall, like clockwork. And it's like, and are people surprised about it? Are the government people surprised? Oh, wow, we don't know where this wildfire came from. We don't know why. It's like, yeah, it happens every year. Maybe set aside some money to fight wildfires. and maybe go to the same spots there. And, like, yeah. It's like they get amnesia or something. They forget. What's this guy say? By supporting strategic investments from regional businesses, our government is protecting Ontario's workers and creating the conditions for a strong, stable, and resilient economy that can weather any storm, he said in a media release. Centerra's investment will support growth and innovation across the local manufacturing sector and create better-paying jobs for workers and families in southwestern Ontario. With this investment, Centerra will modernize and upgrade the manufacturing capabilities and processes with new equipment. The project will create 6 new jobs and will retain 47 provincial officials. Oh, it will retain 47, the provincial officials said. Test of trades. Did the plumbers get smell training? Yeah. What's this smell like to you? And I saw this one about Germany. Germany news. Skilled craft sector faces huge labor shortage. So it's happening in Europe as well. In Germany. What you need to know, it's not a very long. They didn't make it very long. A very short one. Germany's skilled trade sector is lacking some 200,000 workers. Not enough young people are signing up for apprenticeships. The country's top court upholds the conviction of a woman who pretended to be a doctor. I hope so. But that's it. They didn't continue on with the story. Oh well. So it's happening in Germany too. The young people aren't signing up for the apprenticeships. So it's going to affect everyone everywhere. Do what you can to encourage the young people of the generation to go into the skilled trades. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing this stream for. Encourage. Let them know that the trades is not how it used to be. You're gonna work with your hands for sure. You're gonna work hard, but it'll be a great time. You'll learn a skill. You'll keep it the rest of your life. You'll also earn good money, and yeah, you'll actually be building the infrastructure that people rely on. So keeping things running, depending on which skilled trade you go into, you do a bunch of things. But that's it for the articles and news. Let's move along to accident investigation. I picked this one because it might apply to all of us here. The trades jobs crash is going to be worldwide and nobody is ready. Yes, Fabric, you are 100% right. It's going to be, people will be like, I didn't see this coming. And it's like, some of us have been shouting about it for like the longest time. But they choose to ignore it. So this says here, worker fatally injured when lowering a raised vehicle. This can happen to any of us. Some of us work on vehicles. Some of us might be helping people work on vehicles. So let's see what happened here. That's why you say that you can't immigrate your way out of it. Yeah, 100% you can't. Unless they have a clear, first class knowledge of English, reading it and writing it and speaking it. But those are few and far between, and they don't care about the country they're moving to. All they care about is getting away from the country they came from. Let's see here. A mechanic was conducting service duties on a parkade vacuum truck late at night. First red flag right there. Working late at night. The mechanic elevated the rear end of the vacuum truck and utilized jack stands to secure the vacuum truck in an elevated position. Okay, that's good. Yep, you're always supposed to lift it up and then put jack stands underneath. Yeah, fabric, accident time, accident time. Once the scheduled work had been completed, the mechanic attempted to lower the vacuum truck. The worker utilized a bottle jack to secure the vacuum truck and remove the jack stands. The bottle jack became unstable, causing the vacuum truck to lower unexpectedly, lodging the mechanic between the floor and the bumper of the vacuum truck. Ooh. The mechanic sustained fatal injuries. The employer, Amiots Plumbing and Heating, has been operating since 1977, performing duties associated with plumbing, heating, gas, and mechanical, providing services to both residential and commercial work sites. Amiots Plumbing had approximately 12 workers at the time, work site incident. Amiots Plumbing purchased Suck You Sump on October 15, 2018, and used the trade name on their fleet vehicles. The mechanic was a journeyman mechanic who had worked for Suck You Sump prior to the 2018, approximately 5 years, and began working with Amiots Plumbing upon the purchase of the Suck You Sump. The mechanic did not work a regular shift, but worked an on-call basis when vehicle service or maintenance was required. The owner and president of Amiots Plumbing purchased the company from their father. The owner had been a plumber for approximately 12 years. Okay, here's the equipment and materials. Parkade vacuum truck. Parkade vacuum truck was a modified 2016 Chevrolet Silverado Duramax 33500 HD with diesel engine. The vacuum truck was approximately 5,688 kilograms. That's about 12,000 pounds, guys. This happened to you about 4 years ago. Your buddy didn't set the jack properly and a truck dropped on my leg. Clean brake, but took about a year to walk. Yikes. See? I knew it. Jeez. Fabric. Man. Yeah, this, like I say, this is why I picked it. This is something that could happen to any of us. And it has happened to you. It was approximately 5.6 meters long. That's about 15 feet. At 2.4 meters wide. 8 feet wide, I guess. With a rear bumper height of 30 centimeters or a foot. Okay, there's the bumper there. That must be what they were talking about. Let's zoom in on that a bit here. There it is. Right where the hitch is. Okay. Good thing it was a suck truck and not a succubus. Ayo! Good one. Yeah, good one. I didn't see that one coming, but good. The bottle jack was manufactured in China and included no identified brand name or model number. Red flag number 2. Using a piece of garbage made in China with no markings on it, no brand name, nothing. The bottle jack was identified as a 20-ton low-profile air manual hand jack and included a 1.2 meter long air hose. The bottle jack weighed approximately 16 kilos. That's about 32 pounds. And had a base dimension of 0.2 by 0.13 with a height of 0.23. Approximate piston height on date of incident. So there it is. So it was air over hydraulics. So you don't even have to pump it up or anything like that. You just plug it in and put the air to it and it should lift up. But as it said, it had no identified brand name or model number. And it was manufactured in China. I'm not trusting my life with some piece of garbage like that. The jack stands were the personal equipment of the mechanic and appeared to be homemade. Oh no. You are not allowed to do that. 2 individual jack stands consisted of an outer base, inner stand with top platform. He gives us the dimensions. Each jack stand included a long pin to secure the inner. You can't do this because jack stands are weight rated. They will each have a thing on them that says, "Hey, this is how much this jack stand can hold. This has been tested by CSA or Underwriters Laboratory. Whichever country they come from, they'll be tested." So you can't make your own. I'm just going to check here. Jack stands. Let's see. What do we got here? There you go. You can go to Canadian Tire and get a pair of jack stands. Here's a 4-ton jack stands for $100. I would think you would need something a little tougher for that truck, the vac truck they had. You can always get, ones that are more robust, more than 4-ton. You can get 6-ton. Home Depot has them. You can even look up 6-ton jack stands. I think that would have been more than enough. That would have been more than enough for that thing. Yeah. Napa has them. Evercraft. There you go. Chinese and a bottle jack? Ah, hell no. But here you go. Here's Evercraft 6-ton jack stand. 6 tons. That's 12,000 pounds for each one of those. So you got 2 of them. And I believe it said the truck weighed 5,000 or 5,800 kilos. Yeah. 5,688 kilos. That's 12,000 pounds. So one of those jacks would have done. But you're using 2, so it divides up the weight. You would have been fine with 2 6-ton jacks. But we don't know because these are homemade. It doesn't have... Yeah, they appeared to be homemade, but it's like... The ball jack looks like you handle a car or light truck. You seriously don't rate it. Yeah, exactly. Hey, what's up, Godzilla? How you doing? Jack stands. How boogie. Just put some cinder blocks under... Yeah, get some cinder blocks. Okay, there's the top. There's the pin. Jack stand pin. This is the jack stand inner stand. Here's the sequence of the events. In September 2019, the owner was made aware of a service concern regarding the fuel gauge of the vacuum truck. The concern was first identified by vacuum truck operators and confirmed during service work at Western Buick GMC. The owner contacted the mechanic and advised of the service concerns, which included a dent in the fuel tank skid plate. The dent was identified as a possible cause of the fuel sensor concerns. The owner and the mechanic decided to remove the skid plate from the fuel tank at the rear of the vehicle. On September 18th, 2019, the mechanic contacted the owner and requested permission to pull the tank. On either Friday, September 19th, or at some other time over the weekend, the owner agreed with the course of action. On the 20th at 6 p.m., the mechanics arrived at the Suck-U Sump facility in Edmonton. The mechanic turned on the lights and began to remove vehicles from the shop area to allow the vacuum truck to be staged in the identified work area. The vacuum truck was parked for service in the center of the shop and along the south wall. The work area consisted of a 5.6 meter by 3.858 meter space. The mechanic prepared to begin the service work. At approximately 6:30 p.m., the mechanic retrieved supplies from the shop area, including the shop bottle jack. At approximately 6:45 p.m., the mechanic retrieved supplies from the personal vehicle, which had been parked partially in the shop bay door, including their personal jack stands. At 7:15, the mechanic retrieved additional supplies from their personal vehicle, including what appeared to be their personal floor jack. The mechanic completed the task of removing the skid plate, and at approximately 7:30 p.m., contacted the owner to provide an update. At 8 p.m., the mechanic returned the floor jack to their personal vehicle. The mechanic then laid out an airline to the vacuum truck to be used with the bottle jack. Okay, we got a bit of a better picture here, somewhat. A is the bottle jack that's flipped over on its side. Let's zoom in on that a bit. There it is. So it was on a block of wood, it looks like. And what's B? Jack stand, inner stand, and jack stand, outer base. Okay, so B and C are the jack stand. So B is the upper one. There it is. And C, that's the outer part of the stand. They are both right close together. Okay, and they must have came when they were getting him out from underneath. This must be what they used. They look like they used some Enerpack or hydraulics to lift that up. Yeah, Enerpack. They lifted it up with some hydraulics. A lot better than he had it. There's even a floor jack here. Look at this. There's a floor jack with a piece of wood. It's up under the bumper. So it fell over. He took the jack stands out because he was done the work. He was going to let it down, but it fell. All right. Let's see. Sometime after 8 p.m., the mechanic raised the vacuum truck to remove the jack stands. Once the jack stands were removed, the bottle jack shifted and fell on its side, causing the vacuum truck to lower down onto the left side of the mechanic's body. Ugh. Mechanic sustained fatal injuries. This guy had a death wish. I mean, he should have done it a lot better than he did. Like I said, don't use homemade stuff. Don't buy Chinese stuff either and expect it to work well. On September the 21st, at 7:15 a.m., a vac truck operator arrived at the sump facility and responded to a standby work request. The vacuum truck operator observed the mechanic under the vacuum truck. Vacuum truck operator contacted EMS and EPS and Edmonton Fire and Rescue. Oh, man. They got everybody out there. A review for enforcement action was completed, and it was determined that a file would be referred to Alberta Justice Review. The entire file was sent to Alberta Justice. Charges were laid on May 13th, 2022. Amiette's Plumbing and Heating operator Suck-U Sump Service pled guilty to contravention of Section 261 of the Occupational Health and Safety Code, which states, in part, that an employer is required to ensure that elevated parts of powered mobile equipment, when being maintained or repaired by workers, are securely blocked in place and cannot move accidentally. At sentencing, MET's plumbing and heating operated a suck-you sump service was fined $170,000 inclusive of the 20% victim fine surcharge and a 2-year placement on enhanced regulatory supervision. Hey, Alex, how you doing? Cost saving costed him his life. Yes. Yep. How much is your wife? How much is your life worth? Your life should be worth a lot more than the price of a proper jack or proper jack stands. You should be proud that the tools that you buy are top of the line and top quality, not ones that are going to fail on you. Also, lifting the vehicle. Guys, there's proper points of lift on a vehicle. So you have to make sure you're lifting from the right spot, and always use your jack stands and wheel chocks. That way the vehicle won't move forward or backwards either. So use some wheel chocks. If he's just lifting up the back, he could have chalked the front wheels. I don't want to put what he was lifting on, but it looks like it was almost underneath the what do you call it? That thing about there with the drive pinions and everything like that. Right at the axle. Like the housing of the axle. I sure hope he wasn't lifting on that. But I think that he should have... See where they have their Enerpac hydraulic lifters here? This must have been what EMS did. This is where you should have been lifting. Right there. Right there. And then put your jack stands underneath the axle. Spread wide so that there's no doubt that it's going to hold it. The company was fined because the mechanic didn't follow proper safety protocols. Well, it says, and in the OHS book in Alberta here, it's pretty cut and dry. The Occupational Health Safety Code, it says the employer is required to ensure that elevated parts of powered mobile equipment, when being maintained or repaired by workers, are securely blocked in place and cannot move accidentally. They didn't do that for their worker. The employer, knowing that they have trucks like this, should have had the proper tools and equipment for the workers to use to work on that machine. So they got fined. Yeah. I don't know. They say it appears to be homemade. I don't know. I mean, it's even got a sticker on it. I don't know what that sticker says. It's also a round base. I'm not too crazy about that for a jack stand. Like, you'd think that's easily gonna go over. The ones we were looking at, square bases, individual legs. It'll say what the and it even says here it complies with the ASME PS 2014 safety standards. So look for something like that. Also look for ones that have the stamp of how much they can hold. Look at this, OTC 3-ton jack stands. OTC is a very well-known brand. Look at that. It even says right on, 3-ton. Capacity, all that good stuff. Yeah, this is what you have to pay so that you don't die. It's even engraved in the part that holds it. It says right there, 3-ton. or not engraved, but they cast it like that. It's got the casting in there. It says that it's 3 ton. So good on you, OTC, for having a good product. There you go. There's an even better shot of it. Yeah, capacity 6,000 pounds. I know guys don't want to spend a lot of money, but how much is your life worth? These ones are foldable, it says. I don't know if I trust that. I don't care if it's fold up or whatever. Okay. Just like having sex with a fat girl, lift with your jack, not your. Yes. Me personally, I would have had these 6-ton jack stands, and they're only $100 for a pair. So you know what? That's cheap. And yeah, have them set up properly. This doesn't look like they were set up properly. They're too close to each other. I mean, they might have rolled to that spot, but... And I still don't think that... Like, I don't see any round jack stands there. Like, no round bases there. These are all square. You can even get DeWalt ones. Gear wrench, ratcheting jack stands. It doesn't break the bank. You're a tradesman. Spend your money on good quality tools. Especially ones that are going to keep you alive. Look at this. Lordco Auto Parts. They have 6-ton jack stands. Once again, they have a square base. So yeah, this round base, I don't know about that. That's, yeah, not my first choice. Anyway, I think we've covered this one pretty well. You guys, you guys have to change a tire on your car. Make sure you read your manual where to put the jack and how to where to lift it up, how to do it properly. Don't hang out underneath the car. Make sure you have some jack stands you can use. You're changing a tire. I know it's people don't haul around jack stands with them to change tires, but you have to do something so that you are not the one that ends up as a statistic. So yeah, that's enough of that. Okay, you know what time it is now, eh? It's picture time. It's picture time. And this coincides with what I titled the stream. I was going to say Mr. Plow, but I went with Mr. Snowplow, just so it wouldn't confuse anybody with, Homer Simpson and his Mr. Plow. let's go like this. Where did you go here? There we go. Okay, I just gotta adjust. Yeah, we'll go like that. Okay. Nobody's guessed the background yet. Anybody have any guesses? Which show this background is from? This picture's from? Anyone? If you know, make sure you drop me a line. Get a hold of me. Tell me now in the chat, or send me a note on X or Discord. But let's get to the video. Guess who's in the skid steer? Guess who's going to be plowing some snow? You got to put on your old operating gloves. There we go. Now it's time to plow some snow. Look at that pile we got going already. Nice ride. Thanks, DJ. It's old. This skid steer is from 1998. Okay, now let's plow some of the road here. And it's hand controls for the bucket up and down. And there's a foot pedal to control the diagonal, whether the blade moves diagonally or not. It's Kaijo the next excavation. Or evacuation. It's not a very smooth ride either. That's why the camera's shaking a lot. I got it clipped to my pocket, but so there's a couple of snow piles around the area there. So as you're going along, it's like, well, make a pile here. And you get right in there. You try to stack it up as high as you can. And we went down one side of the road, now we'll go down the other side. Make a little camera adjustment. And there we go. It's amazing how much you can push around with the snow blade there. It's got little wings on the side too, so it like captured the snow. sure it's all flat on the ground there. You don't dig in too much, otherwise you won't get anywhere. You start slipping. But wherever anybody has pushed stuff away with the snow shovels, you go around and you grab that. And you try to get as much of it as you can. The whole problem with doing that is that for 4 or 5 hours you get out and your whole body is numb from vibration. That's why we need a new one. I keep bugging them. I've bugged them ever since I started there for a brand new skid steer. Like, we need a brand new one. Something that's more modern and smooth. This one is so rough. It doesn't even have a radio or any kind of good heating system at all. The new ones will. And we'll go over here. Take a couple of swipes. There we go. Hey, what's up, Veritex? Just in time for picture time. We're doing a little bit of snow plowing. Got to clean it up. How's things going in your neck of the woods? Try to figure out where the road is. You got to be careful. Take as much as you can without getting pulled in. You guys can see out there too that there's a train going by. Oh, and we got a big load of snow there. There's another pile right there. This really helps too. You can't wait until the snow's stopped. You have to do it and get it. You have to get out there and do it just to try to get ahead of it. The new one will have more sensors than a Federation starship. That's true. But I've driven a lot of skid steers. I like the John Deeres. Very easy to get access to the engine compartment when you got to do your pre-checks. And all the new the ISO configuration, where you just use one joystick to drive and one joystick for your bucket functions and all that. That's awesome. They have this snail mode where no matter how you can set it so that no matter how hard you push the control lever, it will only put as much speed into the hydraulics as you are letting it, because you can set it, which I think is excellent for people that you can't trust with being too wild with it. Require a maintenance contract and a firmware update, subscription, etc. New ones aren't worth it. Maybe not, but we'll let the company worry about that. I'm not the one that has to repair the thing. Even if we bought a used one from, like, I don't know, 2020, that would be fine with me. At least it's in the 2000s. But it's got to be big. It's got to be big enough to hold the snowplow. The snowplow is 9 feet wide. And that is, it is heavy. So we need a really big skid steer. Something that's either got extra weights put on it, or it's got to be like the biggest version that you can get. Yeah, so we're making good progress here. You can see the road's getting a little more clear. I'm trying to get as much as I can from the side here. Make a nice pathway. And you just take another row off as you're going by. So pretty much just back and forth, trying to clean up everything and stacking it all as high as you can. You do a good job, and then when the sun does come out, or it does get a little warmer, it'll make some bare patches, so that's good. Same skid steer I told the rail cars? Nope. This is a small one. I used this is a Case 85 XT, and I used a John Deere 544 to move the rail cars around. This one wouldn't do it. You need that. You need the larger loader to move the cars around. Yeah, it's going pretty good. Get a little bit of time to myself, and it's like, you know, guys, I'm going to go out and I'm going to plow the area there. And they appreciate it too, the operators there. Try to clean things up a bit for everybody. It looks like the sun's coming out a little bit too while I'm doing this. That's all right. And then there's another pile right there. Hey, Kixie! How you doing? Nice. Appreciate you stopping by here. Guys, don't forget to tune in to Call Me Kixie. She's a great VTuber. You can check her out on Saturdays. You'll have a fun time. She plays a lot of indie games. If you want to see what she's got to offer, tune on in. But yeah, this is me behind the wheel, Kixie. Doing a lot of snow plowing. Just showing the guys that it, you know, it's a lot. It takes a lot to move a lot of snow. And here we go into the next pile. Whoa! Of course. My pleasure, Kicks Chad. So you got to try to remember where the road is. You haven't seen snow in a long time? Well, have I got a deal for you. All you could want. There we go. We'll make another pile here. Pile it up. Keep clearing the road here. You can't let it pile up too high, otherwise it gets very hard to push. And the skid steer I drive has wheels on it. It doesn't have tracks. So the grip isn't that as great. If you have a tracked one, you get a lot better grip. But yeah, just try to get ahead of it. You can tell by the previous piles, there has been a lot of it, so. You try to make every sweep of the plow count as well. There is, yes. The skid steer does have a heater in it. It's not very good. As I've told the guys, this machine's from 1998, so it's not very modern. The heaters isn't that great. So I still have to wear my gloves and my jacket when I'm inside operating. It doesn't even have a radio in it, which kind of sucks too. The newer ones, they have radios. You can listen to the radio or tune them into your station that your facility uses for their walkie-talkies, and you can hear people talk on that as well. There we go, making some big piles here. Okay, now I'm going to clear out this area because this needs to be done. We need to have access here, so it gets a bit rough. It's not paved underneath. It's just a lot of just a gravel area, so there's dirt underneath all this snow. But I'll make sure I get a good swath, as it were. Try to give it a good hard push too. You got to be careful when you run into snowbanks and such. It'll stop you in a hurry, and you don't want your face to kiss the windshield. So you can't run at too high of a speed. I think we're going for another pass here. This is neat. It's like this snowplow has like the side guards on it, so you can gather up the snow and it'll sort of stay boxed in, so it doesn't get away on you. There we go. This part hasn't been cleared yet, so I'm just digging in for this first pass. I'll have to cut it pretty hard here to get into the pile. There we go. Take a good little skim along the side of the building here. Then beside the sulfur pit. You have to lurk, but you want to say hi. Oh, I appreciate that, Kixie. No problem. I'm glad you stopped by. So you can spend, you know, a long time in here just making pass over and over, trying to get everything all taken down. You can see where I've done it already. And don't forget, everybody, on Saturday, we'll be playing some more Odin Sphere. I'm getting quite far along there. Can't wait till I can move to the next level. I've doing some grinding and getting myself up there stronger, so I want to be able to take down all those bad guys. That's Odin Sphere on Saturday. And don't forget on Sunday Anime Chat, it's March Movie Mayhem. So nothing but movies. And I think I've been watching some pretty good movies so far. Last week was Arcadia of My Youth. It's a Captain Harlock origin movie. So that was quite good. So don't forget, tune in Sunday, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Yeah, I wish there was a radio in this one. Just the droning of the engine is just like, I need to have nice music to work to. Okay, it looks like we're doing along here now. Right by the rail cars. And I know there's a sidewalk there, so I slowed right down because I don't want to just crash into the thing. There we go, and we'll drive along back the road that we made there, a little pathway. And what music would it be? Handel's Water Music or Let It Snow by me? Whoa, no, White Christmas. It'd be White Christmas, Faber. In fact, I should have started singing that as I was doing this. You know, the old, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Don't know if that'll get copyright or not. You never know. Never can tell with YouTube. So what happens when the piles get too big and we can't get them with this skid steer. That's when we grabbed the big loader, the 544, the one I used to move the rail cars with, and scoop them up and move them further away to other parts of the yard. It's just that this skid steer just doesn't have the jam to do that. But that big one, yeah, we can start picking piles and moving them further away and moving them outside the gate if we have to. Because these start getting in the way. Okay, looks like I'm going to take out this piece here. Or Condition Critical by Quiet Riot. No, wait. It would have to be that Rush song about ice and snow. Isn't that Led Zeppelin? Off in the land of the ice and snow. Rush song about ice and snow? I can't think about which song that would be by Rush. Now don't take out the company truck. That's it. You almost climb the pile when you're doing this. At least I do. You push that snow as high as it can. You climb the pile a bit. Okay, yeah. Now another pile. So some of the guys, the operators, that's why the piles look like they do. It's not just me that does this snow plowing, but some of the operators don't have as much experience as I do. So I try to impart my experience on them a little bit. Be like, hey, operate it like this. Try to do this. So we're going through a little narrow pass here, so I got to go a little slower. Take it a little more carefully. I was right. It was Immigrant Song by Zeppelin. Ah, look at that, eh? I didn't know the name of it, Fabric, but at least I knew the bit of the lyrics. There we go. We'll go around for another round there. It's not glamorous work, but, it's something that needs to be done. Do a little bit of snow removal. We'll go just... when the camera goes down, that means I'm leaning forward so I can see out the window better. So I'm leaning forward so I can see where the snowplow is. And so I'm being careful. So you see this guy here, you can just see him in the camera here. He's pushing the snow where I can get it. That's what the guys are supposed to do. They're supposed to push the snow into the path of the snowplow so that we can take it away. It saves their back as well. They don't have to push the snow as far. And it helps me get snow that's in hard to reach places. And it looks like the sun is slowly coming out. This was taken about a week ago. This isn't recent. This isn't like today or yesterday. I believe I did this a week ago or so. There we go. Trying to pick up all the snow, push it all into the spot. There we go. Little bit of snowplow action for you guys. That's what it's like on the inside. Once again, video title, Moving Product in Colombia. Yes. My name is Pablo Escobar, and this is how I move my product. Also, has anyone made any guesses as to which show this is from? You guys got to guess the background. I know you can do it. You guys have done it before. You got water in your guides. Oh, your telescope optics? You got water in there, DJ? Does that mean you have to dry it out now? Bring it inside? Pablo Escobar. Nice one, Godzilla. Nice one. I am Pablo Escobar. I'm pushing around my product. All right, guys. There you go. So, I'm going to start wrapping her up here. Don't forget to take your guesses. Make your guesses. Which show is this from? You've got a maid, a cook, and a gardener. But I just want to thank you guys for coming out tonight. I really appreciate it. You're taking apart your lens elements now. Wrong characters to be Mushoku Tensei. Nice try, Veritax. That's not it. You guys might kick yourselves when you find out, but we'll see. Two-piece. Oh yeah, leave it up to the kaiju, eh? Nope, that's not it. Guys, make sure please hit that like button if you can. It really helps me out. Veritax gets it. Black Butler. Yes. This background is from Black Butler. You've got his maid, you've got the cook, and you've got the gardener. So yeah, well done, Veritax. Look at you. All right. Well, guys, you know what that means. I'm gonna have to change it up, and we'll try on Saturday. Saturday is when I'll have a new one up. I'll give you guys a peek, and you can tell me if you know where it's from. But good on Veritax for getting that one. That's African American Butler, you bigots. Or as I like to call it, Kuroshi Suji. Like I said before, guys, please hit the like button. Tell your friends, spread the word, let them know old Pop's here. I'm here every Saturday and Sunday morning and on Tuesday nights. As I mentioned before, on Saturday, going to be more Odin Sphere. I'm hoping to get further along in that game. I really want to get through this one area I'm at right now. And I'm hoping I can just power through here. And then on Sunday Anime Chat, more movies. We'll see what movie will it be. I don't know yet myself, but I'll watch a movie and then I'll showcase it. We can see if it's a good movie or not. Hopefully I like to watch good movies and not ones that are terrible. And then on Tuesday, hey, we're back here again. Trades Talk Tuesday. More trades. More talking about the trades and more seeing what it's like. And more pictures, videos, and more accident investigations. All that good stuff you guys like. Godzilla Odin Sphere with Little Red Riding Waifu. Yes. Velvet Velvet is her name, and she is a cute little waifu, all right? Actually, its proper name would be Butleru Kokojin. Oh, Fabric. Where do you come up with this stuff? But guys, when I'm not streaming, you should visit Pacific 4 and 4 or DJ Ronnie G, who is in the chat, or Brandon the Anime Guy, or Carl at the RNG Podcast. You can also visit Whoopa, who's doing his Whoopa Wednesdays again, believe it or not, tomorrow. So if you haven't seen Whoopa stream in a while, he does a lot of chill streams, playing his games, and it's great to turn out and see how he's doing. There's also Infinite Metal, who is on Kick and Twitch. I just have so much laughter when I'm watching his stream. He's very funny. He is the Edgar Bergen of Twitch. If you don't know who Edgar Bergen was, he is a famous ventriloquist from the mid-20s, 30s, 40s, all the way up until he passed on. He was a good and funny ventriloquist. And then don't forget, she was in the chat as well. Call Me Kixie. You can tune into her on Saturday on Twitch and have a good old time. She's very family friendly. You'll have a fun time. She's very warm and welcoming. So tune in to Call Me Kixie. Godzilla, somehow Whoopa has returned. That sounds like a Star Wars thing. And somehow Whoopa returned. But it's good. I like tuning in. Listen, watch Whoopa play games and such. Give him a rough time. All right. Well, that's it for me tonight, there, fellas and ladies. It was great having you here. I had fun, and I hope you did as well. And I hope I will see you guys the next time I'm streaming, which will be Saturday and Sunday. If not then, maybe Tuesday. But until that time, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.